Hello Cubeheads and welcome back to PixARK. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Firearm Worktable, showing you what it is and how it works. If you enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more PixARK news, tutorials and adventures. Alright, let's get straight to it. So the first thing you need to do is place down 2 foundations. You can then place the structure on top of the foundations, just like a lot of other structures in the game. When you go into the inventory, it does look pretty worrying. It does look scary. I totally understand. It really does. But it's very, very simple. It kind of works similarly to how a UI in Ark would work. So instead of just being able to craft things with things in your inventory, you have to put everything into the Firearm Worktable's inventory. So I've got loads of stuff we're going to be using. I'm just going to hover over the item that I want to put in there and press T to chuck it in the inventory. And you can see the inventory is all filled up right here. Now with this worktable, you can basically adapt loads of your firearms. So that could be rocket launchers, it could be shotguns, it could be long necks, it could be, I think you can do pistols as well. And it's really cool. You can basically modify them, and I'll show you that first, and then you can enchant them. Enchanting is basically putting some magic on it, so you can have ice, fire, and poison. And modifying it is actually changing the stats on it, which is really, really useful. So first you need to select your weapon. So I've got 3 long necks in here. There's a reason for that. I'm going to show you exactly what the differences are between each of the modifications. So if we chuck this long neck right in this slot here. Little tip for anybody that gets confused about the UI, if you just drag your item and then have a look in this inventory for whatever is flashing, you can see right here, this is highlighted. So that means we can chuck that in there. Super easy. And then once the long neck is in there, we get a nice little 3D view of it, which is actually pretty awesome, to be honest. I like this a lot. And then we can go to either modify or enchant. We're going to go to modify, though, and have a little look through all of these. So there's 3 things you can modify in your gun. It's a gun barrel, a gun frame, and a gun magazine. Now, on all of these, you've got type 1 and you've got type 2, which is actually kind of strange because from what I can tell, Type 2 seems to be better than Type 1. At first, I thought that Type 1 was more about accuracy rather than damage, but after doing a lot of modification on long necks and rocket launchers, it seems like Type 2 is just generally the better one to go for. So let's start with the gun barrel. We're first going to start off by just doing everything Type 1 here. So we're going to click Type 1 here, and you can see right here it's got copper ingot. It's going to cost us 5 ingots to do, and as you can see, it's in Chinese still. So this is why I'm saying that I don't think this is actually finished. Let me kill that sauropod right there. Get out, sauropod. Sorry about that. Right. So if we change the gun barrel, we can go type 1 gun barrel and we can hit this icon right here. You can see right here, our stats have gone up to 376 and 99.2. Now, this actual mechanism is more of a rolling system. So if I do this again, it could go down, it could go up. So we can keep doing this until we get the best stats that we want out of this. But obviously, the more you do it, the more ingots it's going to cost you. So I'm going to keep re-rolling until my accuracy goes, oh, that's not too bad. Your accuracy on a type 1 barrel can go above 100. Your damage tends to stay below 400. That tends to be what type 2 barrels will do. So this actually isn't that bad, really. We're going to show you type 2 on another gun because I want to be able to compare a fully type 1 gun and a fully type 2 gun. So moving on to the gun frame, it's exactly the same thing. It's type 1 and type 2. We're going to go for type 1. This time it's going to be copper ingots and wood. So we're just going to do this. And we've got stability and the overheat limit going up. And you can also see that we've got a totally different gun frame on this as well. So it actually changes the appearance. It's really, really cool. So again, I'm going to keep rolling until we get a decent stability. 195 isn't so bad. The overheat limit being at 15, I'd like it to be up to 17. As you can see here, the stability's just gone down to 28. So there's a bit of a frustrating system. There you go. 197 and 17. That will do me. I'm okay with that. I'm good. And by the way, if you guys have done this and you've re-rolled a lot, let me know in the comments like what your best type 1 and type 2 guns are. Or if you've done a mix, because doing a mix can always be pretty good as well. Maybe. So if we move on to the magazine, we hit type 1 again, and this is just going to cost us 3 copper ingots. That just changes our fire rate pretty much. So we're going to keep rolling until we get a relatively decent one. 169 is okay. See if we can keep going to get a little bit higher than 169. You're not going to do it, are you? Not going to let me have it. You don't want me to have 169. Alright, 169.1. That will do us. I'm happy with that. So, just so you can see, those are the stats we've got with all Type 1 changes. And these here are the stats on a standard gun. So, 361.5 to 376.8. To be honest, we could go a little bit higher on a Type 1. I don't think we can get much higher, but we can go higher than that. The fire rate's gone from 100 to 169. Magazine capacity is still at 1. Accuracy is at 91.7 as opposed to 10. Stability is 197.5 as opposed to 10. And the overheat limit is 12 as opposed to 17. I feel like I might have messed that one up, but it's cool. It's fine. So that is a completely Type 1 type of gun. And we'll move on to the enchanting a little bit later in the video. For now, I want to do a Type 2 weapon and show you guys the differences between that. So again, we're just going to drag and drop our long neck into this slot. And you can see all our stats have gone down because it's totally new long neck. So let's go into modify again. Gun barrel. This time we're going to go Type 2. Now, Type 2 costs us 7 ingots as opposed to 5. So, you know, if you think logically about this, that would technically mean that Type 2 is better than Type 1. But I'm still maintaining that with the rolling system, maybe Type 1 actually has more of a chance to get a better accuracy than it does damage. And Type 2 has more of a chance to get better damage than it does accuracy. That's not confirmed. Remember, this is still very early on, so we're still kind of testing things out a little bit here. But it's good to do it together. So with Type 2, we're going to go straight up, and we've already gone way above on damage what we've got on the Type 1 gun. We've got 384 right here. We're going to keep rolling until we get around about 400. 400, but the accuracy is 367. That sucks. That's really, really bad. I don't really want to settle for that, to be honest. I'd rather try and get an accuracy that's really good. But remember, I've got infinite ingots because I'm in creative mode, so this isn't going to be as easy for you guys. One thing that is interesting, though, with this Type 2 gun barrel, this is actually shorter than the Type 1 gun barrel, which is why I'm saying that it kind of seems logical that the Type 1 is more accurate than the Type 2 because the Type 1 has a longer barrel. Now, I don't know a lot about guns in real life, but I feel like that's a thing. Is that a thing? Maybe you let me know in the comments about real life guns. Oh, no, that came out wrong. Maybe don't do that. Well, I don't want to talk about guns. So, guys, in doing this, I've just looked over at my inventory and I've realized that the other long neck has disappeared. And that's because I've got so much in this inventory. You can't actually take it out of there. So I'm gonna redo a Type 1 gun again, but it's cool. Right, we're gonna carry on with the Type 2. So Type 2 barrel. Oh, I think that's probably the best we can get there. Maybe it's not, but it's obviously a random roll. So 396, 105 accuracy, not that bad at all. So let's move on to the gun frame as well. If we go Type 2 gun frame, this is costing us 7 copper ingots and 20 wood. So we're going to keep doing that, and you can see again, it's giving you a kind of different look for your gun. It looks very metallic, and it looks good, but obviously it's all about the stats. It's not about the look, guys. Alright, I'm relatively happy with that. The stability's 172, the overheat's at 17. So we're going to go on to Type 2 magazine and do exactly the same thing and see what we can get out of fire rate here. Alright, so we got fire rate up to 184.6, which isn't too bad. So we're going to go and compare it to the Type 1 gun, but because it dropped out of my inventory and I didn't pick it up, I'm going to have to redo a Type 1 gun quick. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. So, you can see here we've got the Type 2 right in this one, and we've got the Type 1 in our inventory. So let's compare. Damage on the Type 1, 381 compared to 396. Fire rate, 169 compared to 184. Magazine capacity is still at 1. Accuracy is 101 as opposed to 105. Stability is 148 as opposed to 172. And overheat is 16 as opposed to 17. Now, this did take a lot of rolling. Like, I'm not kidding. The copper we went through, I think I gave myself about 1150. That's a lot of copper to have to go through to get the best stats on this. So it really isn't something that you can just go, oh yeah, I'm just going to re-roll all the time. You know, it's going to be difficult to be able to re-roll. But I would recommend just going for the Type 2, to be honest. It seems like it's a lot more worthwhile to just do that. Cool, so we've got 3 long necks at the moment. This one is our most powerful one. This is the Type 2, this is the Type 1, and this is a standard one right here. So you can already see the difference between them. I do quite like the look of these ones. They do look pretty sweet. Now, in terms of like what they can actually do, I'm going to use the Type 1 first. We'll just see what happens. Straight away it kills it. The thing is, though, you're not really going to be using these particularly for killing creatures. You might well want to try using them on a boss, but I think there are certainly other things that you can get. At least go to some drops and try and get like a Mastercraft one, so that you've got a bit more damage already. But at least that sort of shows everyone how to go about using the Firearm Worktable in terms of modifications to your weapon. But there's more! Using the Firearm Worktable, you can also enchant your weapons. So if we drag and drop again, oh, you can't do it from your hotbar. If we drag and drop from your inventory into this slot right here, we can go down to enchant. And we can either enchant using fire, ice, or poison. Fire is obviously fire magic stones, ice is water magic stones, and poison is dark magic stones. Now, if you're wondering where the best place for you to get magic stones from is, if you are at a sort of, if you're at the level where you're looking to do this, digging is obviously a fine way to do it. You do come across magic stones. A lot of people will do the whole strip mining thing. But the best way I've found is just generally to go on either an Argent or a Griffin. If you're at level 60, of course, for a Griffin, and just go and kill some of the gem spiders. When you kill them, they drop a lot of gems. So if you just farm them over and over again, you do end up getting quite a lot of gems anyway. Anyway, I'm digressing. So let's take a look at this. So it's really simple. Again, all we need to do is make sure we've got the stones in the inventory. You can see I've put loads of stones in here, so we're all good to go. We're gonna go enchant. We're gonna hit one of these. Probably let's go fire first, and we're just simply gonna click that button, and we can see that it's changed all to fire, and it looks super sweet. Its icon's changed and everything, and it's got increases flame damage 3. Now this is, again, I do think this is a work in progress, because this is another rolling system where if we click this, it goes up and down a little bit. So the most I've seen is 10 so far. There might be more, there might be higher, there might be a little bit lower. Well, there obviously is lower. So once you've done that, you can take it out of the Worktable's inventory and put it into your own, put it into one of your hotbars. And this is what it looks like. It looks super sweet, right? I don't know if we can get a better close-up of this. Doesn't really look that great from there. But it looks great from here. So you can tell that it's a fire one because it's got the fire sort of glow on it. But you do also need to get some ammo for this thing as well. So to craft yourself the ammo, you're going to need a magic workbench. If you go into the magic workbench and go to weapons, ammo, you're going to see that you've got the poison bullet here, the ice bullet, the fire bullet, and the ice arrow, but we're not worrying about the ice arrow right here. Now, for all of these bullets, you'll need copper ingot, gunpowder, and the magic stone essence. If you're unsure on how to do that, don't worry. I'm going to show you. I placed it right over here because it's super, super noisy. So you need an alchemy stove. And with the alchemy stove, you can literally just have the magic stones in your inventory, and you can craft all of these very, very quickly. Simple as that. Cool, they're done, so we're going to take them out and go back into the magical workbench, and then we can actually craft the ammo that we need. So we're going to go weapons, ammo, and you'll see all of these have become available again. So I think we did fire first, didn't we? So let's go, let's craft like maybe, let's just craft 10. Let's do that. 10 of them, because they do take quite a while to actually craft, and I don't want to be sitting here for 2 hours trying to craft these bullets. Cool, so now they're crafted, we can put them into our inventory, and you can see, if we drag and drop them, we have the option to put them on that one, which is our firearm, but we can't put it on these other long necks, which makes total sense because they haven't been enchanted with fire yet. So I'm going to put these ones back in my inventory, and we're going to put them in here just so we can enchant them with everything else. We're going to enchant this one with ice. We're going to enchant that one with poison. So we've enchanted all 3 of our rifles individually with fire, ice, and poison. Now that we've done that, we can actually put any bullet type in any of them. You can see we've got the green going there, so it shows us that we can actually put these in. So I'm going to put poison in that one, ice in that one, and fire in this one. We're going to see exactly what they do. Alright, so to test the damage out, I've spawned in these Parasers. Now, they do act a little bit weird in creative mode, but you can see the ice one will slow them down a little bit. He's running away. And I don't know how many hits he's going to take to actually go down. This is a Parasaur, after all. I'm going to fly after him. I know it's a little bit cheaty. He looks hurt. He does look hurt. I don't know if I can shoot him through the water. Let's have a look. What are you doing, son? I can shoot him through the water. He's definitely hurt. Still hurting. No, obviously these aren't headshots either, but he is bleeding, so we're doing a fair amount of damage to him. There you go. He is down, and that was with the standard long neck. That's one that hasn't been adjusted, which is interesting. Right, so moving on to the poison one. So here goes the poison one. Again, these ones are just ones that are spawned in. You can see it leaves a trail of poison that is hurting the dino quite a fair bit. And we're going to see how long it takes to kill him. Again, we are flying, so yes, we are cheating, but don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay, so the poison lasts for quite a while if you just keep shooting it. That's quite cool. And he's totally bleeding out right now. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him down pretty quick. There you go. That seemed to do more damage than the ice one. But to be fair, the ice one wasn't a powered up long neck. That one was... Oh no, it was. The ice one was the powered up long neck. That one is the standard long neck. Cool. Alright, cool. So the next one we're going to try is fire. And this one is the superpower long neck. So we're going to give this a go. So what it's supposed to do is leave an area of effect, and I think you can see it. I'll try and point it out in the video, you know, post-editing and stuff. So you can see where exactly the area of effect is. It's pretty much the explosion that you see on screen. I think that's a good way to describe it. So we'll see how many shots this takes to get this guy down. Not many. Not many. So that was a fully powered up long neck. It's not a Mastercraft, it's just a standard one. Obviously, when you've got yourself a Mastercraft or Apprentice or Journeyman or whatever, then you will have more damage on your long neck. In terms of structural damage, the poison bullet at the moment will do damage to an iron wall, as will a frozen bullet, an ice bullet even. The ice seems to do a little bit more, as you can see there, 2025 and 2044. What does it do to steel, though? It does damage steel as well. That's probably an issue right there. I don't think that's supposed to be happening. Pretty sure that's going to be a bug. Otherwise, that's crazy OP. Even the poison does it, but fire doesn't damage structures. So we're not going to go through, like, all of the weapons that you can do and show you exactly what they do, because honestly, it would just take too long. And I think there's some excitement in trying to figure it out on your own. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. If you would prefer me to just do a video where we test out every single combination on things, then maybe let me know about that and we'll see what we can do. But at least you guys know the basics of the firearm worktable. It's really not too difficult to master. It just looks a little bit overwhelming at the start. The main things to remember are that to use the bench, you've got to go into the inventory, you've got to chuck stuff in there before you can use it, and you need to chuck one of your weapons, whatever you want to change up, into this slot right here. It's obviously not working at the moment because it's not in my inventory. There you go, like that. You'll know it's in there when the 3D model comes up, and then you can modify your gun barrel, gun frame, and everything like that. The Type 2 at the moment seems to be the best one to go for. So bear that in mind when you're doing it. It's not that much resources more than it is to do the Type 1. For enchanting, you just need the magical stones. Really, really simple. And again, it works on a rolling basis. So you could click the button once and you get loads of damage. You could click it again and you get less damage. So it's really quite simple. It's not a system that I love. I don't love the side of, rolling. I don't really like RNG that much. But I understand why it's in. I think it's fine that it is in. And I'm ultimately okay with everything. So I hope the video has been useful to everyone. If you want to see any more tutorials, if you don't know anything about the game and want to know, please do feel free to let me know in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Wow.